For today, in the name of freedom, we take the battle to them.
Hello and welcome to another Transformers news video. Yes, I know that I'm like 3 days late to this, but I kind of just wanted to wait to see all of the reveals, so this way I can just talk about everything at once, so I don't end up with a hatchet situation where I end up doing like 3 or 4 different videos on it. Starting here with the lamest of them all is the Studio Series Ape-Link. Now, yes, I know that Prime vs. Prime did his video on this already, but I just want to acknowledge how disappointing this is. Nobody had high hopes for the Studio Series Ape-Link because Hasbro would never, increase the size of the primal mold. No, they wouldn't do that. They don't care. They're like, who cares? Just repaint it, change the face, the shoulders, and the arms. Well, the forearms. And there you go. That's Ape-Link. Are they blind? Have they forgotten what Studio Series is supposed to be? Oh, the most accurate. Oh, it's to scale. Everyone's in scale. Which is a bunch of bullshit. But this is like the most obvious thing ever. They made it very, very clear in the opening of Rise of the Beast that Ape-Link is bigger than Optimus Primal. But yeah, just looking at the box here, you can see that even the render they didn't even bother changing. They just swapped out his face and shoulders and added the arm blades. So basically exactly what they did with the figure. But yeah, same pose and everything. They just mirrored it. Oh my god. I know that I realistically shouldn't be complaining this much about Ape-Link, but come on, man. Just look at the robot mode. Yes, this is from Prime vs. Prime's video, and just look at this. The robot mode is exactly the same. All they did was make the shoulder. I like the shoulders, I'll be honest. The forearms, I think, are okay. But the head design. Hasbro, what the hell is this? This is horrendous. This is so bad. Because they didn't even bother. All they did was just change the mouthpiece. So now it's like a full-on battle mask. And they didn't even bother. They didn't even bother giving a different head sculpt, And the only reason that I'm complaining is because we've seen the YOLO Park, AMK Pro Ape-Link, which, yes, is, completely, that wasn't in the movie at all. And that looks amazing. Why is this like this? They cost the same price as well, which is insane. Yes, I know this transforms. But come on, man. You could have at least taken inspiration from that head sculpt. Instead, they just took Primal, and I'm complaining way too much. The Beast mode is alright, but the thing is that the head, the face area, that part of the Optimus Primal mold, you could see that it was is a very distinct cut. And you can see exactly the point where they just took off that primal face and then stuck on the Ape-Link face mold. But yeah, the ape mode, it looks okay. This is more just a fault on the primal side of the mold. But the fact that the shoulders, just cannot do the on all fours pose without looking really weird. Oh god, I'm complaining too much. Let's just move on, please. Before I move on, I would also just like to tell you, I did a fan-made trailer for Transformers 1, a true trailer, so, if you'd like to, you can go check that out, please. And then just starting off with these images, which unfortunately have not been released in HD yet, but really, that is fine, because I will, I'll explain that when I get to the next figure, the third figure. But starting off here is the War for Cybertron Gamer Edition Ironhide. Now, I've said this several times, I have never played any of the Transformers like War for Cybertron things. I don't know anything about them. And this is of no interest to me because the Gamer Edition line, even though I don't collect them, they've been questionable to say the least. I haven't seen one figure where everybody goes, oh my god, this is amazing. This is the best. Even the Optimus Prime, that's really the closest thing you got to that. But I mean, this looks pretty cool, to be honest. Like, even as someone who has never seen this design, I really like the look of this. But then we get to something a little bit more exciting, especially for us Bayverse fans. We have Q, aka, the Wheeljack of Dark of the Moon. And holy crap, this looks great. It has been so long. I think the Fallen was the last one in 2022. I think that was the last time we got a Bayverse Studio Series figure, because last year, I think they just re-released the core class Laserbeak with Bumblebee's colors. And then, oh, there, it's Bumblebee. That doesn't count. Okay, core class never meant anything. There's only like certain figures who I think who warranted a core class. But yeah, this is the first Bayverse figure in about 2 years, and I think that this looks really good. I know it's not the best quality. Again, I will cover it when it comes in like HD, so we can actually see it. But you can see from here, the head sculpt looks great. The kind of Einstein hair doesn't come out too much, which might have actually been a problem if it did, because otherwise that would probably hinder the articulation. And if not that, it probably would have hindered the transformation. But I really, really like what they've done with Q here. Is he clunky? Yes. Was he like that in the movie? Basically. I don't really understand what's going on with his weapon. Like, I don't know if that's meant to be a gun or that's meant to be a sword, because it's not a sword because it's not sharp. It's not like a mallet or anything, but he's holding it like a sword. So I don't know what that's meant to be, because it looks like a gun. It looks like an EMP cannon, but he's holding it like a sword. But really, this is what everyone was most interested in as far as the SS reveals, and that is the Knight Optimus Prime. Now, really, I should be the one most critical of this, because I absolutely love the Age of Extinction Knight design for Optimus. I know there's so many people that hate it, but I personally, it's one of my favorites because of how clean it is. And, you can't believe that turns into a vehicle, which I know is why people hate it. But that's actually why I love it. It's a fantastic vehicle and a fantastic robot mode. And it is a difficult figure to put into action figure form. I mean, wait, it's a difficult design to put into action figure form, because, I mean, we've seen it done. Obviously, Unique Toys have done it, and all the other versions of this design that we've seen, those companies have done it. But you have to look at the prices. Those things are pretty expensive. This is just a mainline leader class. But I'm going to be honest with you, apart from the paint in the chest area, this just looks like the original Age of Extinction leader class. And I know that is like a sin to say, because there's so many people who say that the Age of Extinction leader is the worst Optimus Prime figure that we've ever gotten. And, I own a version of that mold. And by a version, I mean a knockoff. It's broken, but I mean, the vehicle mode looks good. Apart from that, there's not really much to it, because you cannot not have the backpack. And I'm hoping that for this figure, they do what they did with Noah, with the core class Noah Diaz, where they have the backpack be removable. And, yes, obviously it is parts forming, which it does suck, but come on, look at this figure, guys. It is so clunky. It's ridiculous. I'll be honest, I think the legs are about as good as you can get. I really don't think that they can, I don't think they can slim the legs down anymore. And, I'm happy with this. But there is a noticeable issue, which many people have pointed out, and that is what I was hinting at earlier in the video with these renders. The feet. The feet are puny. They are very small, but mainly they are blue when they should be gray. And that is something that people have said, is that these renders are not complete. And they were mainly talking about this one, because this is the figure which got the most complaints as far as the paint goes, mainly in the feet region. And so this is not the final look of this Prime, thank God, because this looks terrible. I say this, it's just the feet. The sword is absolutely beautiful because we got the Last Night Voyager in 2017. I don't have the mold, but that is basically the best mainline version of this design you can have. And there were two glaring issues with that figure. Firstly, its sword was way too small, and also it was a stupid orange, but mainly it was way too small, and the head mold was just, well, the mold was fine, but the eyes were god awful. If you look here, you can see that the head design, at least as far as the paint goes, is much better, which, I mean, really it should be from Studio Series. But something else is that on the back, you can see there, he is going to come with his shield. And but I mean, that should be standard. This should come with the sword, it should come with the shield, and it should come with his blaster. However, I would like to just get my little nitpicks out of the way, and that is something that I have not seen anyone else talk about. Why are his arms so freaking big? I absolutely hate this. Why his forearms are massive. They're like half of his chest. What the hell is going on there? Like, and the thing is, some of you might be saying, "Oh, it's a transformation." Look at these arms. There's nothing in those forearms. They do not move for transformation. So I just don't understand why they are so freaking big. Like if it was up here, if it was the biceps, I could understand. They want to make Prime look bigger. But why the forearm? It just looks like he got bitten by a bee on his radius or something. That's what that looks like. It's looking like we have individually articulated fingers, which that is really cool because then you can like recreate the pointing pose, which I honestly don't even know where that pose came from. Like Optimus just pointing. I don't know where it came from, but it looks awesome. So yeah, of course, this is not, as I said, the final version. We will see the official render hopefully by the end of the year. I've heard people say that it's like in a week or something, but that's a bunch of bullshit. I think by the end of the year, at least, we will have an official render of this guy, and hopefully there'll be somebody who illegally takes a picture of the actual figure and leaks it online. Please. But this is the most recent thing which is showing up, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a new packaging. I shall start off with the Studio Series 1. Here you can see that they're changing it a bit. Now, I assume that this is a deluxe and a leader box because, I mean, they're pretty close in size, which, speaking of which, did you know that the old deluxe boxes, I went back when they had the plastic casing and all of that, that is the same size as the boxes for the current Voyager classes. I don't know, I just wanted to do that comparison. But, yes, ladies and gentlemen, the freaking plastic windows are back. Hallelujah. Oh my god, I'm so happy. We're not going to have any missing heads, any missing matrices. This is so good. Oh, thank God. It only took them like 2 years, like 2022 and 2023. Actually, you know what? And 2024. They're questionable for Transformers figures. I genuinely cannot even think of a single Studio Series figure that came out this year apart from that Commander Optimus Prime, which is such a waste of money. I can't think of anything. What the hell? But yeah, this is insane because we are finally going back to how the boxes should have been. And what's going to annoy a lot of people is that they are getting rid of the numbers. Yes, Studio Series will no longer be having their numbers on the boxes. And this is going to be annoying for several reasons. Mainly, well, actually, no, only one, and that is for the madmen out there who collected every single Studio Series figure. Because imagine, right, you're going to have three sets of boxes. You're going to have the OG, right, 2018 to about 2021. And then you are going to have the 2022 to 2024 era where, you had no plastic. And now you're going to have 2025 till whenever they change it again, where you have no numbers and back with the plastic boxes. Oh my god. And as you can see, yes, in fact, with I said it when I covered Galvatron, the 86 Galvatron reveal. We'll see whether they are going to keep the renders on the boxes as the vehicle modes or if it's just for Galvatron. No, this is a permanent change. Now we will have both. I don't think that the next Studio Series wave, like friggin' Hatchet, Galvatron, they I think will still have the current boxes because we saw them at, I think it was New York Toy Fair, and no, sorry, it was New York Comic Con. That's right. But yeah, probably the next year's figures. After that we'll have these ones. Also, I did say this. I actually did say this when it was announced that Overload and Dark of the Moon Soundwave were getting reissues. For Overload, they changed his packaging. I don't have any images with me, but yeah, they did change the packaging so that now, the Transformers is horizontal as opposed to vertical. And yes, the vertical is an iconic part of the boxes, but I'm not gonna lie when I say I kind of prefer how it is now. You can see it does have the Transformers, then the Studio Series beneath that, no number, and then the movie that it's from, and then on the right, of course, their affiliation, their name, yada yada yada. But there is still one more thing to cover. This is the new toy line, which was kind of rumored. Actually, no, it wasn't rumored. It was announced a fair amount of time ago. I'm not really up to date with this, so forgive me if my facts are a little wishy-washy. But yeah, this is basically the line that is going to replace Legacy. Now, we got a couple Legacy figures, like the purple packaging, things like Inferno, Galvatron, Prime RC. Prime RC being the only one of those three that I didn't get because that thing looks stupid. But there have been like 3 sub lines or something like that. Like there's Legacy, Legacy Evolution, and then I think this year it was like Legacy United, I think. But I mean, it was meaningless to me because again, we don't get Transformers in stores. But this is going to be the follow-up. This is going to be its replacement, which is Age of the Primes. And here is a good look at a leader class box. This is not Studio Series, of course, but it will likely be the same packaging. Just, replace the Age of the Primes as Studio Series. And this is none other than Megatronus Prime, aka The Fallen. And, I really like this packaging. I really, really like this. I think that it looks fantastic. But mainly, I think the best thing that people will agree on is that they got rid of that stupid angular box that Legacy had. I hated that because it was so difficult to form any sort of pattern or a uniform line or anything like that with those boxes because they were so angular and had all of these different things. It was so annoying. Like it was angled and stuff. Ugh, now it's just a perfect, it's like a nice box. So this is good. Although one thing that I am questioning is why he's called, like on the box, it says Megatronus the Fallen. Like, shouldn't there be a slash there? Or like a hyphen or literally anything instead of calling him Megatronus the Fallen? Because that's like being pretty mean to him. But yeah, here is the actual figure. And he looks good. Again, I know little to nothing about this, but of course, I know who Megatronus Prime is. But yeah, this looks fantastic. I see he comes with effect pieces. That's really interesting. Although I'm not a big fan of that because these look very much like they kind of are made for this figure. You know, I like the effect parts where you can just kind of put it in any weapon for any figure just for display purposes. Here, it looks like it's basically only for this Megatronus Prime. But yeah, this thing looks really good. Honestly, depending on the prices and what I see online, I might actually get this because it reminds me of my Tarn. And I don't know if any of you saw, actually no, none of you saw it, but I did a YouTube short a while ago showing my Tarn KO. Like, it was a leader class size knockoff by Black Mamba of the Legacy Tarn, and it broke. Not because the figure was poor quality, it was just the build of it, because the joints were so unbelievably tight that when I moved its arm, it just cracked and broke. So that's unlucky, and that was like my favorite Transformer, so that's why this year the only figure that I've gotten after that broke was the Studio Series Bumblebee, which I did review with Primus the Creator, if you'd like to check that out as well. So yeah, I think as like a quote-unquote replacement, I think this will look pretty good. It'll just depend on the size of him, because leader classes now are just Voyagers. Okay, I promise now this is the last thing, is the new Studio Series Bumblebee. This is a game changer for Studio Series, and really, it doesn't give Hasbro any excuses anymore, because this figure, I know it might not seem like much, but this changes everything. The Volkswagen Bumblebee that came out in probably like 2018 or 2019, actually. 2018 is when the line started. So it was like either 2018 or 2019. We got the Beetle Bumblebee. And that figure got absolutely destroyed by fans because of how much they hated it. And that the build was crap, the transformation was annoying. This is Hasbro's response. Now, I know that Hasbro released like a shitty version of a character and then they release a better version. But not like this. Look at Shatter and Dropkick. Dropkick, they released the helicopter mode. That was garbage. And then they got the car version, which was better. Shatter, the car mode was garbage. And then they got the jet mode version, and that was better. But this is the exact same design, exact same vehicle mode, and they have redone it. Never in Studio Series has Hasbro gone back to a design that they've already made a figure for and remade it. This is insane. And the reason why it is insane is because now there's really no excuse for Hasbro to say why they can't go back and redo the old Studio Series figures, because there's a fair amount of them that were pretty crap. Stinger, I like the Stinger. I don't care what anyone says, but Stinger is one that a lot of people hated. Lockdown, I loved that thing until, the quality just kind of showed because its arm wouldn't stay on. So now that figure is like dead to me. But even then, looking at it now, 6 years later, that figure isn't even really that good. It just looks like a Ninja Turtle. There's so many figures now from 2018, 2019 of Studio Series where they can go back and redo them. And really, this is just it's a loophole for Hasbro, because there's already how many figures in this line? I think Ape-Link is 119. They can go back and redo however many figures as they want from the 118. And do you know what this means? It means that for Rise of the Beasts, we can get accurate figures. I mean, obviously, I prefer it if they do the Bayverse, but still, for Rise of the Beasts, we can get the real figures. Sorry, I've stayed on this image so long, I don't even talk about it. But yeah, you can just see honestly, the top part, if you look at it from here, the top half kind of looks the same, but the bottom half is very different. The legs are extremely different, and the door wings, even though it's not shown in this image, you can move the door wings down, because I believe Bumblebee didn't have the door wings in the movie. I think only when he was like partially transformed in Charlie's house, I think he had them. But yeah, you can see he does come with the arm blade, which it doesn't integrate as well into the figure as the Rise of the Beast version, but again, that's just me nitpicking. But yeah, and of course, it comes with a cannon. This is the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Bumblebee that we were told was going to come out. Many of us, myself included, thought it was going to be a reissue of the Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee, except they were going to remove the roll cage and the bull bar and all of that. So it was just the base Camaro. But no, it's a redo of the Volkswagen Bumblebee, which I'm really happy about. And there he is with the packaging. Again, the Beetle front and center. I wonder if they're going to add the plastic the plastic window to these figures. I highly doubt it. And the real final thing is, well, over here you can see it. His wings are down. But yes, finally, the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Prime is finally getting his actual reissue. And yes, you can see he does have the Studio Series box. Even though you can't see the front of it, I'm really happy that he's finally getting a reissue. I will still get the byway version if I do decide to get this mold. I've heard that it's really good. But yeah, for those of you who don't like buying knockoffs, I think that this is just a really, really, really good thing. Oh, finally we're done. Holy crap, that was probably the most tiring news video that I've done. But god damn, there was just so much. I had to cover it, man. There was a lot. Some things were questionable, some things were terrible, some things were absolutely awesome. So yeah, please just let me know your thoughts on all of these freaking things that happened in this video. The new packaging, the new Age of the Primes line, the fact that Hasbro can now go back and redo Studio Series figures that were crap. The freaking Night Prime and all of that. Just let me know your thoughts on everything down in the comment section below. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, then please leave a like, subscribe, and goodbye.